Hello, welcome to the first episode of my series Buxton Barrow Man. Well, technically it's episode 3. But this is a new series dedicated to places interesting, important or beautiful in Buxton. Unlike other channels who do this kind of content, the guy behind the camera, my past self, will be cleaning up and or improving places along the way. So, let's get started with one of the most well-known landmarks in Buxton, Solomon's Temple. The temple sits upon the summit of Grin Hill, which itself has played a vital part in Buxton's history. Well before the temple was constructed, the hill was home to a large proportion of Buxton's lime industry. Quarrying and lime burning was first licensed here by the 1st Duke of Devonshire in 1662. And the hill is littered with the remains of this industry, with quarry pits, spoil and well over 100 pudding kilns. These undulating hills here are those pudding kilns, which date from the 17th to the 19th centuries. Built into the mounds with a rock dome atop, there was a gap at the bottom to remove the product and a hole at the top of the dome to let out the smoke and set up the kiln. Layers of locally sourced coal, limestone and wood were built up inside the kiln and set alight at the bottom. The kiln was left to burn for 3 to 5 days and then left to cool for 2 more before it was time to shovel out the finished product. The finished product, known as quicklime, was then used in plasters, mortar, concrete and fertiliser. Let's have a quick check up on myself, shall we? Now as I make myself up towards Grin, you'll notice a majority of the hill is covered in a wood, and that's thanks to the 6th Duke of Devonshire in 1820. He commissioned the Grin plantation to cover up all the dirty, smelly kilns from all the upper class visitors coming to bathe in Buxton's famous spa. Lovely, isn't it? 40 hectares of lush woodland. Oh. That's better. And I think now it's finally time to move on to the temple itself. In the 1830s, Solomon Mycock leased the land atop Grin, and in 1840 he built Solomon's Temple on behalf of the 6th Duke of Devonshire. The construction provided work for a number of unemployed in Buxton at the time. But the tower itself is known as an architectural folly. It hasn't got a purpose, it's just nice to look at. Saying that, what we're looking at isn't even Solomon's Temple, this is Grin Tower. As by 1894 the original structure was dilapidated and in need of a replacement. So of course it was another Duke of Devonshire, the 8th this time, that approved a replacement. The tower was partially funded by public subscription and opened by the Duke's cousin Victor Cavendish in 1896. Since then, residents of Buxton have also partially funded a restoration in 1988 to make sure it can withstand another 100 or so years. Now if you plan on visiting, there is a car park at the base serving Go Ape and Paul's Cavern. There might be a video of that in the future. The walk from the car park is very straightforward, but does include a few steps for the most direct route. I'll leave a link below for the directions. Now before I end the video, let's sum up my cleaning efforts. 3 barrows full, and about 4 hours of walking around Grin, picking litter up on the way. I accidentally filmed them 2 days a week apart, mainly because the wind was too high for the drone. But we'll gloss over that, and I'll leave you with the weirdest thing that I found en route. One singular little pink croc.